This guy used to be the #1 rich kid in school. But in his 3rd year of college, unexpected family troubles suddenly struck. He fell from the top of the world without stopping. Not only was he dumped painfully by his girlfriend, but his roommates also gave him the cold shoulder. But just when things were at their worst, he accidentally activated a life-hacking system. Spending money on girls would get him 3 times the return. From then on, the road to the top was wide open again, as if nothing had happened. My name is Shen Yuan. Back then, I was also a legend that everyone envied. The whole school was buzzing about how the notoriously wealthy young master of the academy had just bought a brand new luxury car. As soon as I set foot in the school, I immediately conquered the goddess of the 2nd-year flight attendant program, whom countless guys drooled over. People couldn't help but whisper, "Shen Yuan, that damn guy, is rich and handsome." Of course, he has the privilege of choosing a girlfriend. He not only had the right to choose a girlfriend but almost monopolized the entire school. Rumor has it that a lot of first-year beauty queens are head over heels for him. The female students, seeing this, were a bit jealous. "What's so great about Chu Wan Ting? I was just a little hesitant, and now I'm late to the party, it's so annoying. Do you think I still have a chance? Opportunity favors the prepared, don't let them win, Kia." But my flowery life, spending money like water, which everyone marveled at, vanished in my 3rd year of college. Because trouble struck, my family's 3 travel companies went bankrupt simultaneously, leaving behind a huge debt of 1,000,000 yuan. Since then, even when I asked my roommates to play online games, they coldly replied, "Shen Yuan, it seems we don't have any connection, do we? Did you think you're still the young master of the past, who could just call out, and we would run after you?" My old buddies now avoid me like the plague. I'm helpless. Who told me that now, my parents and sister have to squeeze into a tiny rental room, while I, who used to be used to 5-star hotels, can only return to the student dormitory in my hometown. Don't even mention living comfortably like before. I don't even dare to dream about a bright future. Until that fateful moment. That's it, Shen Yuan. From now on, we're going our separate ways. I wish you find a more understanding beauty. The one who said it so coldly was Shen Yuan's girlfriend, Chu Wan Ting. Hearing this, Shen Yuan froze for a few seconds. He couldn't help but question her repeatedly. "Wan Ting, after 3 years of affection, you're saying we're breaking up, how can you be so heartless?" She sneered, "You're talking like a prince in a romance novel. Don't you know how much affection we have? Anyway, don't call me Wan Ting anymore, it sounds so countrified. In the future, let's not meet again. I'm leaving first, my friend is here to pick me up." She immediately turned away, without a trace of reluctance. At that moment, he suddenly grabbed the car door, startling Chu Wan Ting. "What's wrong?" Shen Yuan coldly said. "Those luxury bags I bought for you, you probably don't use them anymore, do you? How about you return them to me?" Hearing this, her face changed. "Shen Yuan, are you shameless? I've been with you for 3 years, and you only bought me a few cheap bags, now that we're breaking up, you want them back?" Seeing that awkward expression, Shen Yuan just smiled faintly. "If not, I don't need the money either. How about we relive the old days one last time?" Chu Wan Ting was furious and gritted her teeth. "Get lost." But at this moment, the man in the car lowered the window, his voice indifferent. "Wan Ting, get in the car. It's not worth getting upset, young man. Where are you planning to walk to now? Or should we give you a ride since we're going the same way?" Hearing this, Shen Yuan pouted. "It's cheesy when I call Wan Ting, but it's classy when he calls Wan Ting. How ridiculous," he scoffed. "No need, my house is right nearby." The man continued to mock him. "We're not in a hurry, but we're just afraid you'll be too shocked and do something stupid. How about we escort you home safely, what do you say?" Hearing this, Shen Yuan cursed inwardly. "Damn it, we've broken up, and you still want to step on my self-esteem. If I don't fight back, you'll really think I'm a fool." Thinking this, he rested his hand on the car door, with a friendly smile. "Big brother, you're kind-hearted, I appreciate your kindness, but it's really not necessary. My house is right here, just a few steps away. And, Wan Ting is a wonderful girl. You must cherish her in the future." Chu Wan Ting sat silently in the car, her heart in turmoil because of those words. The uncle arrogantly replied, "Don't worry, just leave Ting Ting to me." Shen Yuan paused slightly, then continued in a warm voice, as if sharing his experience. "As true men, we must give women the best. Oh, and Wan Ting has some habits that you should know. First, she likes using Okamoto 01. Second, you don't need to buy too expensive stockings, because high-quality ones are not very convenient. Also, nurse and police outfits are her favorite outfits when she reaches her peak." Before he could finish, the man's face in the car turned pale, then immediately turned purple with anger. Humph, you're just all talk. The car sped away after a violent acceleration. Watching the car disappear, Shen Yuan muttered, "Big brother, I haven't told you the sensitive parts yet, Chu Wan Ting. Maybe you've made a wise choice. But anyway, it has nothing to do with me anymore. I just hope that your move will help you have the life you want." At that moment, a strange voice echoed in his head. "That's right, everyone should pursue their own perfect life. The perfect life system is loading." Host, Shen Yuan, age 21, height 182 centimeters, weight 72 kilograms, asset value 87, health index 72, fitness index 75, skills, nothing. Looking at the index, Shen Yuan was completely stunned, pointing at himself. "Wait, this character is me. Am I so shocked that I want to die? Why is this so magical?" At that moment, the text on the screen continued to display, "The system has finished loading. A perfect life not only requires abundant money but also the affection of the opposite sex, time-limited activation task. Spend money on a suitable female with a favorability rating of over 60 points and receive her favor, reward, a triple refund of the money spent. If the female's favorability increases by 3 points, the refund will be doubled this time. Note, only cash or savings can be used for spending." Looking at the screen in his mind, Shen Yuan cursed inwardly, "What the hell is this? I just got dumped. And now I'm getting a game hacking system. This must be an illusion. Disappear now." He hugged his head, shaking it vigorously, as if to dispel everything. But, just then, a voice sounded behind him. "Shen Yuan, as a man, you must have spirit. You've only lost love. There's no need to overreact." The speaker was his instructor, Li Xiao. "I just heard everything. But in this situation, using your words," she smirked, "break up, so what? The next one will be better." Hearing this, Shen Yuan looked up. At this moment, he stared at Li Xiao, completely frozen. Because, a number appeared above her head. At the same time, the status panel automatically displayed information, Li Xiao, favorability towards the host, 65. Numbers ran continuously in Shen Yuan's head. This number and the note, so that means the perfect life system just now is not fake, it really exists. Seeing him still standing there like a statue, Li Xiao smiled slightly and patted him on the shoulder. "Student Shen Yuan, quickly regain your composure." Shen Yuan finally snapped back to his senses, scratching his head awkwardly. "Ah, I'm fine, ma'am." Seeing that his state was more stable, Li Xiao nodded and said, "That's right, about the scholarship last time, I mentioned it to you. How far have you thought about it? If it's okay, send the application soon. This is one of the few ways I can help you." However, Shen Yuan shook his head and replied, "A few thousand yuan is a drop in the bucket. It's nothing compared to my family's debt. You might as well save the scholarship for students who really need it more." Hearing this, Li Xiao was silent for a few seconds, then nodded. "Since you've said that, I won't advise you anymore." "All right, but if you have any difficulties in the future, just find me, even if it's about love. Then I'll go first. If anything happens, remember to come find me." After saying that, she waved goodbye and turned to leave. Watching Li Xiao's back, a thought flashed in Shen Yuan's mind. Teacher Li Xiao completely matches the system's task conditions. If I run the task, can I really get a X2 refund? How about I try it out? Thinking this, he immediately stepped forward and gently took Li Xiao's hand. "Teacher Li, thank you for caring about me. I'll buy you a cup of bubble tea." She blankly refused. "No need to be polite, student Shen Yuan." Later, he bought milk tea and gave it to her. "Teacher Li, please." Seeing him being so proactive, Li Xiao blushed slightly and softly replied, "Thank you." At the same time, Shen Yuan's phone vibrated, reporting a message. Initial balance, 87 yuan. Consumption, 6 yuan. Buying milk tea, remaining balance, 81 yuan. System refund, plus 18 yuan. Current balance, 99 yuan. It's really real. As long as Li Xiao's favorability always stays above 60, I can continue to spend money on her and get a refund. If I go in the right direction, I can not only pay off the debt but also help my family become more prosperous than before. No, it's not just going back to the way it was, but surpassing the past. Before he could be happy for too long, at this moment, he only had 99 yuan in his hand, which was too little. The urgent matter at hand was to earn enough capital and find suitable girls to spend money on. A moment later, looking at his phone, he slightly smirked. The credit limit is only 8,000 yuan. GP is 20,000 yuan. The business loan is 21,000 yuan, plus the initial 44 yuan. Currently, the total amount of money in my hand is 49,000 yuan. Now the problem is, How to make Li Xiao accept an expensive gift without being suspicious. In her eyes, I'm just a poor student who just went bankrupt. If I suddenly give her a luxury gift, she will definitely be suspicious. Time flew by. 1 hour later. I've already ordered an expensive bag worth 39,800 yuan, the spring and summer model this year. I'll say it's a fake, so Li Xiao will accept it. Looking at the bag, he suddenly thought, I wonder if Li Xiao has a boyfriend. At this moment, Shen Yuan was standing in front of Li Xiao's door and knocked. As soon as the door opened, Li Xiao was slightly stunned. Oh, it's you, Shen Yuan. Hearing this, he smiled and replied, Teacher Li, sorry to bother you. Are you cooking? Li Xiao was still surprised. What's the matter? He hesitated for a moment, then continued, You've cared for me and taken care of me throughout my 3 years of college. Before, I thought it was a given, but today, I realized how precious that help is. This is a little token of appreciation from a student. I hope you accept it. Seeing this bag, which looked very expensive no matter how you looked at it, Li Xiao quickly waved her hand. No, that won't do. You're my student. What I do is just the responsibility of a lecturer. I treat all students the same. There's nothing special about it. Shen Yuan shook his head, sincerely saying, This bag is just a fake. Only 200 yuan. You also know my family's situation. I wouldn't dare to spend lavishly anymore. You've helped me so much. If I don't do anything to express my gratitude, then, am I still human? This bag is not worth much, but it's my heart. If you don't mind, please accept it. He's already said this much. If I don't accept it, then it's looking down on him. At times like these, I can't agitate him anymore. Looking at his honest appearance, Li Xiao pondered for a moment, then sighed and accepted the bag. All right, I'll keep it, but later, if there's an opportunity, like on your birthday or a holiday, I'll return the favor. Just then, a burnt smell suddenly rose from Li Xiao's kitchen. Li Xiao hurriedly ran in. Oh my gosh, my stir-fried meat is burnt. Shen Yuan followed her in, chuckling, Teacher Li, you haven't eaten yet, right? If you invite me, I wouldn't mind. Li Xiao hesitated. Well, if you don't mind, stay for dinner. Shen Yuan smiled and said, As long as your boyfriend doesn't mind, I'm willing to do anything. He asked tentatively, wanting to check if Li Xiao had a significant other, because he knew that the closer the contact, the higher the favorability, which meant he could get more refunds from the system. At that moment, his phone vibrated. Initial balance, 12,000 yuan. Expenditure, 39,000 yuan. Handbag, system refund, plus 119,400 yuan. Current balance, 132,000 yuan. Reading it, he was overjoyed. Ah, it's here. Awesome. This system is so powerful. A 39,000 yuan bag, but a refund of 119,400 yuan. Subtracting the cost, I made almost 88,000 yuan. This is the first time in my life that I've made money just by spending it. This is youth. This is the thrilling feeling of victory. While he was still cheering inwardly, Li Xiao's voice pulled him back to reality. Sit down and eat. Why are you still standing there? But when he looked around the table, he only saw 2 sets of bowls and chopsticks. Shen Yuan was a little surprised. Huh? Is it just the 2 of us eating? Where's your boyfriend? Hearing this, Li Xiao was stunned, then frowned. What are you talking about? I don't have a boyfriend. Just then, she struggled to untie her apron. Shen Yuan immediately stood up chivalrously. Let me help you. Li Xiao replied shyly, No need. It's okay, it'll be done right away. But, just as he touched the apron knot, an unpleasant voice rang out from the door. What are you two doing? The person who appeared was Li Meng, Li Xiao's younger sister. Shen Yuan was startled and quickly explained, I'm not doing anything. Seeing her sister, Li Xiao smiled and said, Why are you home so late today? Come in and eat. Then, she turned to introduce Shen Yuan. This is my younger sister, Li Meng. Seeing Li Meng's sharp eyes, Shen Yuan suddenly felt something was wrong. He quickly greeted, Hello, but was met with a cold shower from Li Meng. I'm not good. Shen Yuan scratched his head, blushing, and turned away. Teacher Li, actually, I already ate before coming here, so, I'll go first. See you at school. Hearing him say he had already eaten, Li Xiao was a little confused. But just now, you said. Shen Yuan quickly slipped away before being questioned further. As soon as he disappeared, Li Meng glared at her sister, seriously saying, Sister, that kid is not simple. He's definitely flirting with you. Li Xiao immediately retorted, He's just my student. Li Meng was annoyed. How dare he? A student wants to fly a plane. What nonsense are you talking about? Let's eat. At this time, on the way home, Shen Yuan was still racking his brains. Wondering who to pour money on next, Li Xiao might have favorability, but after all, she was a teacher, which was a bit difficult. Moreover, she wasn't the kind of pragmatic woman like Chuan Ting. If he kept giving gifts, he would definitely be exposed. Suddenly, someone nudged his shoulder. He turned around and said, "Oh, Fatty Wang, what's wrong with you?" Shen Yuan saw Huang Haibao, his roommate, with a pale face, trembling as he said, "Yuan, the beauty Feng Minhui went to see a movie with that Li Jianpeng." Feng Minhui was the beauty queen of the K-20 Business Administration Department, and also the person Wang Haibao had been longing for a long time, but the two had no connection, and had never even spoken. Shen Yuan frowned. "It's just going to see a movie, what's the fuss about?" Wang Haibao was dejected. "Yuan, why are you making that face? Are you laughing at me?" But the two saw Feng Minhui right in front of them. Wang Haibao was overjoyed, his eyes shining. "Yuan. She just went to see a movie with Li Jianpeng, she hasn't gone to a hotel yet, which means I still have a chance, right?" Seeing his friend's miserable appearance, Shen Yuan sighed. "Wang, liking a girl and having to demean yourself like this won't have a good result, there's no sweet fruit to pick." But, his eyes suddenly widened in surprise, because the number 72 appeared above Feng Minhui's head, which was even higher than Li Xiao's. Feng Minhui and Chen Lin walked and gossiped. "Minhui, did you know, Shen Yuan was just dumped by his girlfriend." "Shen Yuan, it's hard to say. At the beginning of the school year, I shouldn't have encouraged you to take the initiative to get to know him, and even bring him water. It's understandable that rich young masters are snobbish. With money, they can do whatever they want. But even after his family went bankrupt, he's still arrogant, no one can stand it. Luckily you and him didn't become a couple, otherwise, it would have been a waste of 3 years of youth." At this time, Shen Yuan saw Feng Minhui's favorability towards him plummeting. His face contorted. It was so difficult to meet someone who had feelings for him, and could also bring benefits, but if the favorability value kept plummeting like this, it would be bad. He couldn't just stand by and watch. Thinking this, Shen Yuan grabbed Huang Haibao's shoulder. "Huang, if I become a couple with Feng Minhui, do you have any objections?" Huang Haibao smiled faintly. "The problem is, can you win the class beauty? Do you think you're still the young master driving a BMW 4 Series? But honestly, I don't care. As long as she doesn't date Li Jianpeng, I'm fine with anything." Hearing this, Shen Yuan left, smiling brightly. Good brother, I was waiting for you to say this. I've decided, I must take action." After speaking, he ran in front of Feng Minhui, calling out loudly, "Classmate Minhui." Minhui blankly turned around. Seeing this, Chen Lin blocked Shen Yuan. "What do you want with my Minhui?" Shen Yuan smiled. "I just wanted to ask if she's free tomorrow. I've booked a table at the New Thinking Festival restaurant. I don't know if you can come with me." Hearing Shen Yuan invite her to dinner, Feng Minhui was a little shy. "Shen Yuan is asking me to eat." Chen Lin was also surprised. "The sushi at that restaurant is 1,000 yuan and up. Do you have money?" He continued, "After eating, take a walk with me. I want to ask you to choose a birthday gift for my younger sister. If possible, give me an answer tomorrow noon. I'll go first. I'll contact you tomorrow." Watching Shen Yuan leave, Feng Minhui turned to ask Chen Lin, "I just went to see a movie with Li Jianpeng, and now I'm going to eat with Shen Yuan. Is that okay?" Chen Lin smiled. "What's not okay? It's a high-end Japanese restaurant. Shen Yuan is a bit arrogant, but he's handsome. And Li Jianpeng is only rich. If Shen Yuan's family recovers, he might be 10 kilometers ahead of Li Jianpeng. It's a waste not to go. After all, it's just dinner and a walk. Nothing else. Okay then, I'll text you the answer later, okay?" Time passed quickly. The next afternoon, Shen Yuan and Feng Minhui were at the restaurant. "Hello, this is the set meal you ordered. Enjoy your meal." Looking at the table full of high-end dishes, Feng Minhui hesitated. "Shen Yuan, I heard your family is having a hard time lately. You don't need to spend so much." Hearing this, Shen Yuan said casually, "It's okay. The food here is delicious." But before he could finish speaking, Shen Yuan was confused by the scene in front of him. At this time, he looked at her appearance, reminding himself inwardly, "It's only been 2 months since I stopped playing cards. I have to be calm." Then, Feng Minhui asked, "Why did you suddenly invite me to eat? Is it really just to choose a gift for your younger sister?" Hearing this, Shen Yuan turned his face away, shyly replying, "I've always wanted to invite you to eat, but I just didn't have the chance." Hearing the answer, Feng Minhui just hummed, but her favorability towards him dropped to 66. Seeing this, Shen Yuan was doubtful. Could it be that she's not satisfied with the answer? The favorability dropped again. He coughed twice and said, During military training, you often bought me water, and you texted me all night, I always remember. Hearing that Shen Yuan still remembered, Feng Minhui was quite surprised. You still remember? Accordingly, the favorability also increased from 66 to 67. She lowered her head slightly, a little shy. Shen Yuan scratched his head. Yeah, how could I forget? But, throughout the meal, because of Feng Minhui's curvy figure, Shen Yuan could only keep telling himself, be calm, be calm. After 2.5 hours, it was time to pay the bill. The waiter brought the bill. Hello. The total is 2,920 yuan. You're a member, after the discount, it's 2,774 yuan. Feng Minhui inadvertently saw the bill. A total of 2,774 yuan. On the way back, she was still hesitating. My pocket money for a month is only 3,000, and this meal is almost a month's worth. The favorability also increased to 73 accordingly. Recalling the movie with Li Jianpeng, he pretended to be upright, saying that he would just eat at the school cafeteria, and go out to eat next time. Clearly rich, but stingy. At the same time, the system suddenly announced, time-limited task, spend money with the opposite sex with a favorability of over 60 points, and receive the other party's favor, reward. All the money spent will be refunded 3 times. Every time the favorability increases by 3 points, the refund will be doubled. Shen Yuan turned back to look at Feng Minhui. When I first met her, her favorability was 72, and now it's 76, roughly calculating. Eating one meal made me more than 10,000 yuan, so cool. And Feng Minhui, the more she looked at Shen Yuan, the more pleasing he became. Perhaps this was the power of a handsome guy. Thinking this, she took his hand, happily saying, let's go. We still have to go to the Guojin Lian shopping center to choose a gift for your younger sister. But, just as the two arrived at the entrance of the shopping center, they ran into acquaintances, Chu Wan Ting and her new boyfriend, Ho Jun. Seeing Shen Yuan, Ho Jun frowned. Why is this guy here? A poor student dares to come here. Chu Wan Ting also turned around. I just broke up with him yesterday, and now he's already taking a girl out to play. Ho Jun thought about it. I spent so much effort, buying so many designer bags, coaxing her for so long to win Chu Wan Ting, but Shen Yuan is heavily in debt and still has girls following him. Unacceptable. Seeing those two, Shen Yuan turned to Minhui and said, Minhui, let's go to another store. Okay. Chu Wan Ting spoke first. Shen Yuan, what are you doing here, and who is she? Ho Jun pretended. Shen Yuan, since you're here, go in and take a look. Anyway, looking doesn't cost money. Shen Yuan replied indifferently, what a coincidence, I'm here to buy a gift for my younger sister. Hearing this, Ho Jun sneered, buying a gift, you should go to the toy wholesale market. Can you afford anything here? Chu Wan Ting approached Feng Minhui. She leaned in, with a meaningful expression. Little sister, I don't know you, but I'm kindly reminding you, don't be deceived by this kind of person. Shen Yuan quickly blocked Feng Minhui. What does it have to do with you? Moreover, what do you mean by deceiving? Who am I deceiving? You. Ho Jun crossed his arms. Shen Yuan, you shouldn't talk to Wan Ting like that. Men should be chivalrous. Moreover, Wan Ting is your ex-girlfriend. We all know how your family is. Bankrupt, in debt, no need to pretend to be a big shot. No one will laugh at you. At this time, looking at the two people in front of him, Shen Yuan only felt disgusted, thinking in his heart, they are a match made in heaven, they suit each other so well it's scary. But the system rang again. A perfect emperor cannot be looked down upon by others. Time-limited task. Spend money on the opposite sex with a favorability of over 60 points, causing outsiders to feel negative. Reward, for every 5 points of negative emotions that outsiders increase, the host's consumption expenses for the opposite sex will be doubled. Note, this task can be combined with the consumption refund task. At this time, the negativity of Ho Jun and Chu Wan Ting was -30 and -35. Looking at the notification on the system panel, the corners of Shen Yuan's lips slightly curled up. At first, I was going to save you two some face, not wanting to embarrass you in public, but you two just like to provoke me. Now that the system has assigned a task, there's no reason not to take action. Thinking of this, Shen Yuan took Feng Minhui's hand and pulled her straight into the shopping center. Alright, let's go inside and take a walk. Seeing Shen Yuan, the manager of a luxury store immediately asked a staff member to assist him. Shen Yuan was considered a regular customer, and she wanted the employee to serve him. However, the employee was reluctant, pouting and saying, I'm not going, what's so special about serving a bankrupt young master? However, the manager approached and said sternly, if I tell you to go, you have to go. At the same time, on the other side, Zhou Wanting was holding a handbag, happily saying, "Dear Ho, I've chosen it, let's pay." Hearing this, the manager immediately rushed over, smiling obsequiously. Zhou, please wait a moment, I'll wrap it up beautifully for you right away." Seeing the manager's fawning demeanor, the store employee cursed inwardly. Quality customers with reliable payments are all yours, while penniless customers who don't make purchases are all mine. After wrapping the handbag, the manager took out a jewelry box, beaming, "Zhou, your eye is so discerning, it perfectly matches your temperament, unlike some customers who have no sense of aesthetics. Zhou, these jewelry pieces go very well with the bag you just chose. Would you like to try them on? They look very elegant, they're just a little expensive, totaling 100,000 yuan. Hearing this number, Ho Jun cursed inwardly. Money-burning item, I thought buying a 20,000 yuan bag would be it, but she also wants a 100,000 yuan set. I don't have that much money in my account. At the same time, on Feng Minwei's side, the staff member was presenting 2 cute accessory samples. She said to Shen Yuan, "I think this one looks good, the design is also youthful, your sister will definitely love it." A nearby store employee overheard and glanced over, muttering in a bored tone, "Those two together cost over 50,000 yuan, so expensive." Hearing this, Zhou Wanting snuggled up to Ho Jun, whispering sweetly, "Swipe your card, darling Ho. Shen Yuan is watching, show off your boyfriend's strength." But, to everyone's astonishment, Shen Yuan just smiled faintly, his tone indifferent. "Madam, I'll take both of these bags." Finishing his sentence, he looked towards the jewelry display counter and continued, "I'll also take all the jewelry that the lady just introduced." As soon as he said that, Zhou Wanting and Ho Jun froze instantly. Feng Minwei was also completely stunned, unable to believe it. The store employee's eyes widened as if she had seen a ghost. "What? He's buying the jewelry too? Isn't he bankrupt?" At this moment, the store employee rushed over, her voice stammering as she punched numbers into the calculator. Mr. Shen, the 2 bags and the jewelry total 130,000 yuan. Hearing this number, Shen Yuan just smirked slightly, calculating in his head. "Interesting. After the meal reimbursement, I have just enough money to swipe my card." "Swipe it," he said, handing over his bank card and flashing a bright smile. Seeing Shen Yuan's suave actions, the store employee almost cried out in excitement. She had initially thought it would be a fruitless interaction, but unexpectedly, he not only bought 2 bags, but also the entire set of jewelry. One order alone was over 130,000 yuan. Unexpectedly, after his family's bankruptcy, Shen Yuan was even more generous and extravagant than before. She respectfully accepted the card. Yes, I'll pack it for you right away." At that moment, Zhou Wanting finally couldn't hold back and shouted loudly, "Shen Yuan, isn't your family bankrupt? Where did you get the money to spend so lavishly? Don't tell me you took out a high-interest loan." Hearing this, Shen Yuan merely glanced at her indifferently, replying nonchalantly, "Think what you want." Then he turned to look at Ho Jun, smirking, "You seem quite well off, how about buying Zhou another bag? It's only over 20,000 yuan, nothing to you, right? A man needs not only style but also generosity. Your interior trim level 8 car must be worth at least 600,000 to 700,000 yuan, surely you don't mind this little bit of money, right?" Hearing this, Ho Jun's face immediately turned pale, his heart in turmoil, because he knew that the car was actually bought with borrowed money. How could he dare tell Zhou Wanting about this? Yet, this kid had hit him right where it hurt. Zhou Wanting heard this and tugged at his sleeve, urging, "Darling Ho, show your class, don't let him." But Ho Jun hurriedly took out his phone, pretending to be busy. "Wait for me to take this call. Hello, who allowed you to make decisions on your own? I already said, the $1 million project, I can't decide on my own." Zhou Wanting also lost all face. She snorted coldly, turned around, and left. "Shen Yuan, take care of yourself." Seeing the dislike points of the two of them plummeting, Shen Yuan smiled coldly. "Looks like I've reached the negative values needed. Never mind, I'm too lazy to argue with them. Completing the mission is enough." Then, he picked up a bag and handed it to Feng Minwei. "Take it, this is a gift." Seeing this, she quickly waved her hand to refuse. "I can't, Shen Yuan, this is too expensive." "But," he just smiled gently, "it's nothing, just a bag. You were ridiculed by those two today while you were with me. I feel very guilty. Just consider it my apology. Take it, consider it as helping me reduce guilt." Seeing that she couldn't refuse, Feng Minwei could only say, "Well, thank you, Shen Yuan." But, before she could finish speaking, Shen Yuan reached out and took several other bags, placing them in her hands. "Don't thank me so soon. And this one, all for you." Seeing his actions, Fang Minhui quickly asked, "But, aren't these gifts you were planning to give to your sister?" Unexpectedly, Shen Yuan smiled at her, saying, "I don't know if my sister likes it or not, but I'm sure you like this bag." In his heart he thought, "Are you kidding? If I really bought it for Shen Xuan, that girl would definitely scold me for being wasteful and then tell my parents. From the beginning, these were meant for you. Quickly take them. I still have to get my cash back." Seeing Shen Yuan's sly smile, Fang Minhui suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Taking a step back, she thought, receiving one is already too much. Now, receiving a whole set. Will he misunderstand that I'm greedy? She awkwardly handed them back. "I can't, Shen Yuan, this." But, in the next second, Shen Yuan grabbed her hand, saying gently, "It's okay. This is just the beginning. We have a lot of time ahead. Accept it first and refuse later. Otherwise, I'll be very sad." In an instant, Feng Minhui accepted the gift, and the system suddenly sent a notification, "Congratulations, host, you have completed the limited time task. This time, you have collected a total of 15 negative points. The amount spent will be refunded 3 times, plus the consumption task for the opposite sex, a total of 6 times the refund. The amount received, 786,000 yuan. Current balance, 786,356 yuan. After that, Shen Yuan was holding Feng Minhui's hand tightly, thinking, "Minhui, you are now my gold mine. I must take good care of her. That thing that made the favorability plummet just now must absolutely not happen again." "Then," he said gently, "Minhui, let's go back to school. It's getting late." At this time, even though he wanted to get intimate in his heart, Shen Yuan understood that this couldn't be rushed. Letting everything happen naturally would be better. On the other hand, Feng Minhui heard him say that he wanted to take her back, and she had even more favorability towards him. Shen Yuan wasn't like Li Jianping. He didn't mention going to a hotel at all. Otherwise, perhaps, she would have nodded in agreement. In the blink of an eye, Shen Yuan returned to the men's dormitory. As soon as he went upstairs, he heard someone saying, "John Peng, we're really jealous of you. You quietly won over the class belle. We're still single. This is worth celebrating. You have to treat us to a big meal." At this time, Li Jianpeng saw Shen Yuan and deliberately said loudly, "We'll invite the whole class then. We have to celebrate grandly." Just stepped into the dorm. Lao Huang immediately said irritably, "Did you hear? Li Jianpeng went to the movies with the class belle, and wants to brag to the whole school? He's obviously targeting our room 503, but Shen Yuan just patted him on the shoulder, smiling faintly. He won't be arrogant for long. Minhui won't be with him." Lao Huang didn't believe it, shaking his head saying, "Don't be so stubborn. Minhui went to the movies with him last night. Who knows what else they did? Moreover, she didn't agree to date you today, which proves that she has really chosen Li Jianpeng." Seeing that Lao Huang didn't believe him, Shen Yuan didn't bother to explain much. At this time, he looked at his account balance, thinking, "I have more money. Should I go home tomorrow?" The next day, as soon as he returned home, Shen Yuan saw his uncle, Shen Miaode, smiling and saying, "Xiao Yuan is back." But immediately after, his parents said, "Adults are talking. Go to your room first. Your dad has something to discuss with your uncle later." As soon as he entered the room, Shen Yuan heard his dad saying awkwardly, "I understand your difficulties, but I hope you can give me some more time. The batch of goods in my hands will be recovered soon. Then, I'll pay you back a portion first." But Shen Miaode replied firmly, "A portion is definitely not enough. I need to raise capital in 2 days. You must pay the entire amount." Hearing this, Mother Shen immediately flared up, scolding, "Shen Miaode, you can't be like this. Who lent you money to open a car shop when you didn't have any? When your brother gave you 300,000 yuan, did we ever ask you to pay us back once? Now, we only borrowed 200,000 yuan, and you've come to demand it 3 times. What exactly are you up to?" Father Shen quickly appeased. "Say less," Mother Shen responded resentfully. "Whether he has difficulties or not, he knows in his heart. I already asked his wife. He hasn't been raising any money these 2 days." However, her words didn't make him repent. On the contrary, he said calmly, "Debts must be paid, that's obvious. Anyway, we're family. I'm still talking politely like this. If it were someone else, you'd definitely taste what real debt collection is like." Hearing this, Mother Shen immediately exploded. "Oh my God, you even want to use violence to collect debts? You Shen family, you're really a bunch of ungrateful people. What was the point of treating you so well before?" Seeing the situation becoming increasingly tense, Father Shen pulled her back, saying in a deep voice, "Don't say useless words anymore. Aren't there still some gold jewelry items? Tell Mom to go to the room and get them, sell them, and pay him first. Later, when we have money, We'll buy them back. Mother Shen sadly turned away. Forget it, what are we buying? Pay off all the debts in the house first, and then talk. At that moment, the system suddenly sent a notification. A perfect life should not be burdened with debt. Limited time task, repay debt for yourself or your relatives. Reward, the entire amount of the debt repaid will be refunded twice. The first time repaying 200,000 yuan, will receive 1,000,000 yuan, personal spending money for cars. Shen Yuan saw the notification, and was immediately ecstatic. Damn it, this task is exactly what I need. Even if there wasn't a task, I was planning to help my parents reduce the burden today. At this time, Mother Shen was holding a wooden box, sighing, "These are the jewelry items that you gave me before. These past few years, no matter how difficult it was, I couldn't bear to sell them. Calculating, it's probably worth several thousands, just let him take them then." She suddenly remembered, it seems like, when we moved house, 2 gold rings were lost. Hearing this, Shen Yuan's heart was filled with guilt, because I didn't have money to buy a bag for Zhou Wan Ting. When I was in a difficult situation, I had to go to the room and sell my mom's gold ring. At that time, I was really an unfilial son. In the next second, he pushed the door open, saying loudly, "Mom and Dad, I have money." Hearing this, both adults didn't believe it. His dad frowned, saying, "Now is not the time to joke. You've seen the situation at home today. Don't make up stories. Worry about adding money to your meal card." But Shen Yuan still insisted, "I really have money, Dad. Did you hear the transfer notification sound?" As soon as he finished speaking, a ding-ding sound rang out. Looking at the message on the phone, both of his parents exclaimed in surprise, 200,000 yuan, where did you get so much money? Immediately, Shen Yuan had already prepared a reason, saying slowly, "In the past, Mom and Dad gave me a lot of pocket money, so I invested a little in pie with my friends. My friend said, 'Don't touch it, because the value will continue to increase.' Only until these 2 days did I withdraw it." Hearing this, Mother Shen gave a thumbs up, mumbling, "My son is amazing. You've helped our family solve a big problem." Father Shen quickly said, "All right, pay the money first to get rid of this plague god." Not long after, she turned to look at Shen Miao De. Coldly, "Here's your money. We're square. Take the money and get lost, and you better not come around here again." Seeing that they really had money, Shen Miao De lost face a little. "Sister-in-law, it's just like this." But, before he could speak, Mother Shen glared and shouted, "Didn't you hear me clearly? I told you to get lost." Immediately after, slam, the door closed shut, kicking him out. After being kicked out, Shen Miao De still stood there, his expression complex, thinking, "My cousin owes nearly 100 million, and he has less and less money, so I planned to demand it early. How could he pay it all off today? Could it be that he has a new business deal and is starting to thrive? Then how can we still meet in the future? I don't know why I suddenly caused trouble today." After completing the debt repayment, the system detected that the host has completed the first debt repayment goal. The system will immediately send the reward, income plus 400,000 yuan, current balance 1,186,356 yuan, income plus 1,000,000 yuan dedicated to buying a car, current balance 2,186,356 yuan. Looking at the balance in his account, Shen Yuan was overjoyed. Unexpectedly, just by going home, he not only helped his parents solve an urgent matter, but also got a huge bonus. But, it's still a long way to go to solve all the family's debts. Now, even if he gives all 1,000,000 yuan to his dad, it wouldn't make much of a difference. It's best to use this capital to earn more. He roughly calculated that he could give his parents another 200,000 yuan. Thinking this, he said to his parents, "Mom and Dad, I actually still have some money that I haven't withdrawn, about 200,000 yuan, do you need it urgently?" Hearing this, Mother Shen said immediately, "No need, the other debts aren't due yet, just leave it there." But Father Shen was a little embarrassed, hesitating for a moment before saying, "Wait a minute, Shen Yuan, give Dad 50,000 yuan first, Dad will use a little." After hearing this, Shen Yuan smiled, "Haha, that's right, Dad, this is your style." Looking at his dad's appearance at this time, he couldn't help but think, it looks exactly like when I used to ask him for money. Genetic inheritance is really amazing. Returning to school, going downstairs, Shen Yuan happened to meet the guidance lecturer Li Xiao, who had just finished class. Li, you're back." Seeing her, Shen Yuan smiled and asked, Are you free tonight? I'll treat you to a meal. You treated me last time, now it's my turn." But, as soon as he finished speaking, a surge of killing intent suddenly appeared behind Li Xiao. It was her younger sister, Li Meng. Seeing the girl, Shen Yuan felt a chill. Damn it, the lecturer's younger sister is really my nemesis. Can't get involved, can't get involved. Immediately after, he forced a smile. OMs, I suddenly remembered that I have something to do at school. I'm probably not free today. Let's have this meal another day. I'll go first. Finishing his sentence, Shen Yuan quickly ran away. Li Meng watched him leave, her voice a little cold. I told you, this guy definitely has ulterior motives, but Li Xiao still felt that it was probably just a simple invitation to a meal, and besides, even if he had any ulterior motives, she couldn't agree. On the way back, Shen Yuan muttered, "This weather is really hot." Before sitting in the car with the air conditioning was so cool, and I could touch Zhou Wanting, it was comfortable and enjoyable. Thinking about it, it was still awesome. But, he suddenly remembered, wait, I currently have 1,00001 dedicated to buying a car. Wouldn't it be too wasteful not to use it? Could it be that I'm letting the system lose face? Thinking this, he took out his phone, texting Feng Minwei. Minwei, are you free this afternoon? Go with me to look at cars? Not long after, she replied, sure, I don't have classes this afternoon. On the other hand, on Feng Minhui's side, Chen Lin was teasing, you two are even going to choose a car together. At this rate, you might not even come back to the dormitory tonight. Tell me. Tell me. Hearing this, Feng Minhui's face turned red. Don't talk nonsense, we're not anything to each other yet. But Chen Lin didn't believe it, hugging her, smiling. Hi he, TSK. Our Minhui is really lucky, finding a guy who is both rich and handsome. You have to hold on tight in the future, otherwise. Saying this, Chen Lin suddenly squeezed her chest hard, causing Feng Minhui to shout embarrassingly, what are you doing? You're annoying. An hour later, the two were at the entrance of a 4S car dealership. Seeing customers walk in, the sales consultant immediately stepped forward to greet, hello you two, are you here to look at cars? Which model are you interested in? But, getting closer, he recognized Feng Minhui, his eyes surprised, Minhui, why are you here? Oh, brother Qin? Feng Minhui turned her head, unexpectedly recognizing that it was Qin Yang, the senior who had pursued her in high school. What the hell? Why am I meeting him here again? Immediately after, Qin Yang asked, Minhui, who are you with? Not waiting for Feng Minhui to answer, Shen Yuan said calmly, I'm her classmate, I want to learn about the N9 series. Hearing this, Qin Yang, on the surface, still maintained a smile. The car exhibition is over there, it's convenient to take a look, you can also go inside. But, in his heart, he looked down on them. The lowest N9 version is 500,000, and it costs no less than 600,000. Looking at this guy's ordinary clothes, he definitely can't afford it. He doesn't have money but likes to show off, bringing a girl to a 4S store to put on a show. Minute Hui is still as beautiful as ever. She's indeed worthy of being the goddess I used to pursue. But I'm not the same as before. I earn more than 10,000 a month, drive a 200,000 Accord to work, I'm the sales elite of the 4S store. Practical girls now will definitely choose someone like me. After fantasizing, Qin Yang pretended to be natural, saying to Feng Minhui, it's been a long time, are you free tonight? Let's go eat and chat. Hearing this, Feng Minhui refused immediately, sorry, I have something to do tonight. Just when the two were talking, Shen Yuan suddenly asked loudly, excuse me, can I register for a test drive? These words made Qin Yang furious. Damn it, I'm still asking Minhui to go eat, what are you jumping in for? If you don't have money, don't ask for a test drive, you're wasting my time. But, even though he was furious inside, he still tried to restrain himself, saying indifferently, sorry, the test drive car has been driven away by the manager today, a test drive can't be done today. But Shen Yuan just stared at him, his eyes cold, I'm not a novice when it comes to cars. Just now, before entering the store, I saw the test drive car parked right in front of the gate. This guy was obviously deliberately not wanting to let him test drive. He said calmly, if you can't arrange it, find someone else who can do it. Finishing his sentence, he didn't hesitate, calling loudly towards the reception desk, receptionist, please change my consultant, I want to test drive a car. As soon as the words fell, a gentle voice sounded from behind. Hello, I'm Chen Na, a sales consultant here. What can I help you with? Seeing her curvaceous figure and working style, he was stunned for a few seconds. At that moment, a colleague asked curiously, Qin Yang, is that customer yours? Why did you let Chen Na take over? Hearing this, Qin Yang frowned, his expression unpleasant, too lazy to deal with him. Let Chen Na work for nothing. A poor student said he wanted to buy an M9 and asked for a test drive. What a joke. A penniless guy brought a girl to the 4S store to show off. I've met a lot of this kind of person. At this time, on the other side, Chen Na was introducing the car to Shen Yuan. "Sir, this is our main intelligent car model, equipped with a 192 laser radar, which can achieve full automatic driving mode. What do you think?" Shen Yuan pretended to listen attentively, but in his head he was thinking, this girl, from her lips to her figure, is not inferior to Feng Minhui at all. There are also many rumors on the internet these days about female sales staff willing to do anything with customers to achieve sales. At that moment, Chen Na continued to ask, "Sir, have you learned about the car configuration yet? What is your budget?" Unexpectedly, Shen Yuan didn't pay attention to the price, but asked directly, "Is there a car in stock? I want to take the car today." Hearing this, Chen Na was stunned. Customers who buy cars from them usually come several times before deciding. This person just finished the test drive, and even hasn't asked the price yet, but already wants to put down a deposit. If he really wants to buy, then why did Qin Yang give up on this customer? After thinking for a moment, she quickly took out her phone, checking the inventory list. "Sorry, sir, the store doesn't have the car in stock right now, but at another branch, a customer had financial problems and canceled the order. If you need it, it will only take a week to transfer the car here." Hearing this, Shen Yuan smiled. "Then that's just right. I'll put down a deposit first." Chen Na was a little surprised. Rolling requires more than 600,000 yuan. He says he'll buy it, and he buys it. Could this be the legendary angel customer, or does he have other thoughts? But then she nodded, quickly saying, "Sir, please go to the waiting room to rest for a moment. Just pay 50,000 yuan in advance. I'll go get the contract right away." When Chen Na went to get the contract, on the other side, Qin Yang was still gossiping, asking curiously, "Hey, is that customer really planning to buy?" Chen Na replied calmly, "He bought it." Another employee also gossiped, "What? He bought it?" Hearing this, Qin Yang laughed disdainfully. "He's just showing off. When it comes time to pay, he'll find all sorts of reasons and disappear." The other colleagues also nodded in agreement. "That's right, selling cars for so many years, I've never seen anyone buy so quickly." But, at this time, Chen Na's eyes became serious, her voice decisive. "I said that Mr. Shen has already bought it, and he paid the entire amount in cash." Seeing Chen Na so sure, Qin Yang turned red with anger, standing still, unable to speak for a long time. That employee turned around and cursed loudly, "You're stupid, such a big order slipped away. You've lost big time." After signing the contract, Chen Na smiled brightly, "Mr. Shen, if there's anything in the future, feel free to communicate with me. Where are you going? Do you need me to give you a ride?" But, before she could finish speaking, Feng Minhui spoke up, "No need, we can take a cab ourselves." At this time, Chen Na realized that she was a little too enthusiastic in maintaining relationships with customers, making his girlfriend unhappy. Thinking of this, she felt a little bad. "Okay, then I won't see you off." After going out, Shen Yuan asked, Hui, let's go eat now." But Feng Minhui only replied indifferently, "MHM." Shen Yuan looked at her, wondering, "Are you angry or jealous? Your face doesn't look right. She and I are just in a customer-salesperson relationship." Hearing this, Feng Minhui was unhappy, saying, "Who knows? You were talking to her so happily, and you were browsing her WeChat for so long. Don't do that again next time." Shen Yuan scratched his face, smiling apologetically. "Haha, it's actually a habit. Every time I add friends, I'll browse it." But, in her heart, she wondered, Shen Yuan and I are clearly not anything to each other yet. Why am I jealous? His extravagant spending style is really easy to attract other women. I have to think of a way to keep Shen Yuan. Immediately after, Shen Yuan said with a smile, "It definitely won't happen again next time. Let's go eat first. After eating, let's go to AFC to choose a gift for you." In his heart, he smiled slyly, "There won't be a next time. I'm not really that pure." Hearing this, Feng Minhui was stunned. "But you bought me 2 bags yesterday." Although she was a little expectant in her heart, she still felt that it wasn't good to let him spend money continuously like this. What if he thought she was materialistic? But Shen Yuan just replied with a smile, "It's okay. It's normal for girls to have a lot of bags. After all, there are 7 days in a week, one for each day," without repeating. In Shen Yuan's heart, he was smug. After all, spending money on girls can get 3 times the refund. The more she buys, the better. That way I can earn more. So the two went to eat first. When ordering, Shen Yuan asked her, "Today, do you want something cold or hot?" Hearing this question, Feng Minhui was startled, thinking, "Oh no, he's asking me if I want cold or hot. He definitely wants to indirectly know if I'm on my period. Could it be that he's thinking about that?" Thinking of this, she nervously replied, "Then I'll have something cold." Looking at her embarrassed expression, Shen Yuan could also guess, "Damn, Minhui, Where are you thinking? But, the money I saved for 2 months before with Zhou Wan Ting is now quite a bit. It's really time to spend it. Never mind, let's just make this misunderstanding stronger. 3 hours later, Feng Minhui was loaded with gifts that Shen Yuan bought for her. A 10,000 yuan watch, a 20,000 yuan bracelet, an 80,000 yuan bangle. Walking on the road, Feng Minhui felt like she was dreaming. Shen Yuan is too good to me. He just bought me several items, tens of thousands of yuan. In total, for 2 days, it was nearly 140,000 yuan. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan looked at the message on his phone, grinning. Income 225,200 yuan. Current balance 2,254,256 yuan. Earlier, he gave Lao Shen 50,000 yuan, and putting down the car deposit also cost 50,000, but he's already earned it back, although out of the 2,17000 yuan, some of it is for paying off the car. After deducting the nearly 600,000 yuan for the car, there's still more than 1,6 million that he can spend. Taking advantage of the atmosphere, Shen Yuan said very naturally, "How about we don't go back to the dormitory tonight?" Hearing this, Feng Minhui, as if she was prepared, nodded gently. Scene change, half an hour later, in room 808 of the Defuao Hotel, Shen Yuan was showering in the bathroom. Outside, Feng Minhui stared at her phone, her face clearly showing embarrassment. Chen Ling texted her asking, "Why haven't you returned to the dormitory yet?" How should she reply? Should she directly say that she was with Shen Yuan? Just thinking about it made her feel terribly embarrassed. As she was thinking about how to answer, suddenly, Shen Yuan's voice sounded from behind. "Hui Hui, are you ready?" Looking at Shen Yuan, Feng Minhui could only secretly apologize to Ling Ling in her heart. This man has given her too much, making it impossible for her to refuse. Immediately after, she texted back, "Ling Ling, I won't be coming back tonight. If anyone asks, just say I went to my relative's house." As soon as the message was sent, Shen Yuan approached, leaned down, and placed a kiss on her neck. "Shen Yuan, I haven't showered yet. It's okay, I like your scent, ah." After that, the two quickly fell into an intense vortex. In the throes of pleasure, she whispered his name, Shen Yuan. He responded gently, "I'm fascinated by every scent on your body." Thus, the two intertwined, caressing each other with all their might, not letting go. But only half an hour later, the fun was over. At this time, Feng Minhui lay in Shen Yuan's arms, thinking, "So, this thing isn't as scary as Ling Ling said, huh?" But contrary to her, Shen Yuan's face was full of melancholy. "I didn't expect that Hui Hui was a first-timer. The feeling is indeed great, but also too tiring. It seems that I haven't been practicing enough lately. 2 months out of action, my physical strength is so bad." Before he could think much, Feng Minhui suddenly climbed on top of him, her eyes shining brightly. "Shen Yuan, let's do it again." Shen Yuan panicked immediately. "Hui Hui, wait a minute, let me rest first, okay?" But Feng Minhui had no intention of giving him a chance to breathe. She just licked his lips lightly, resolutely saying, "No, I want it now, now." Early the next morning, Shen Yuan returned to the dormitory. Looking at his phone, he felt more refreshed than ever. Unexpectedly, the system is generous. Even the debt repayment gets cash back. The total debt of 52,000 yuan, from some loan apps and credit cards, now it's all paid off in one go. And the 100,000 yuan of Li Yu Heng, also returned immediately. When the family went bankrupt, the former friends, all avoided him like the plague. Only Li Yu Heng didn't say a word, immediately helped him when he was in trouble. Just then, Lao Wang's voice sounded from behind. "Lao San, you didn't come back to the dormitory last night. Where did you go?" Then he asked again, "Have you seen the class group message? There's a class reunion tonight, are you going?" Li Jianpeng booked a luxurious car. I guess he asked the class monitor to arrange it. It's probably another personal show-off of his. It's really disgusting, but if I don't go, I'll lose the 200 yuan class fund. Hearing this, Shen Yuan just smiled indifferently. Li Jianpeng putting on a show is really getting cuter. "You guys go, I won't participate." Just then, the phone suddenly vibrated. There was a message, "A yuan. It's been a long time. Come over for a meal tonight. Come to Bafang. Relieve some stress." At the same time, the system also sent a notification. "A perfect emperor's life not only needs to be liked by others, but also needs a career as a foundation. Limited time task. The system gives the host 1,00000 yuan, exclusive investment money. Within a week, this money must be fully invested. Task reward, all income from business activities will be refunded twice." Looking at the notification, Shen Yuan thought, this time, it's a career development task, huh? It's just that I'm thinking about such a huge amount of money. I need a reasonable source for the money to flow into my account. Li Yuheng's bar is in the renovation stage. Maybe investing in that is a good idea. Immediately after, he texted back, send the coordinates. Tonight, Daddy will come party with you. Scene change at VIP room Chung Long of the Nanjing restaurant. Lin Guangyao hugged a girl tightly, anxiously saying, young Master Li, who else are we waiting for? I'm starving to death. Xie Haijia and Zhao Zhonggang also spoke up. Aren't all the important brothers already here? The really important person wouldn't be late. Li Yuheng smiled faintly. Important what? There are fruits and snacks on the table. Just eat it. Wait a little longer. Shen Yuan will be here soon. Hearing Shen Yuan's name, Lin Guangyao was stunned. Isn't his family bankrupt? He's no longer on the same level as us. What's the point of calling him here? But Li Yuheng said, tonight, I'm treating, I'm not making you pay. What are you complaining about? Shen Yuan is my best friend of many years. He can't be equated with others, Li Yuheng insisted. While Li Guangyao could only grudgingly say, if young Master Li said so, then let's wait. As he said this, one of his hands was groping the girl beside him. Annoying Di Yao, you refuse to be my boyfriend, but every time you touch people, it's too much. He then turned to Xie Haijia, asking, cousin, isn't your girlfriend also coming tonight? Why haven't I seen her yet? Hearing this, Xie Haijia smiled and replied, she's stuck in traffic on the road. It'll probably take another 10 minutes or so to arrive. Li Guangyao heard this. A look of contempt flashed in his eyes, thinking, this whole Xie family always has to rely on my family for support. If it weren't for me, his girlfriend wouldn't have the qualifications to participate in these kinds of parties. I don't know how he got so lucky to find such an extreme beauty. Especially her tight-fitting dress, and the white shirt, it's the perfect uniform temptation. What man can resist it? Anyway, the two of them aren't married yet. Maybe I still have a chance. Just then, the door was pushed open. Shen Yuan walked in, saying calmly, sorry for keeping everyone waiting. Seeing him arrive, Li Yuheng couldn't help but scold, why are you so late? Shen Yuan explained with a smile, traffic on the road, I suspect. The driver deliberately took a detour, only took me to places with traffic jams. As soon as he said this, Li Yuheng teased with a playful smile, there is such an unethical driver, complain about him. Calling a car, among the people sitting here, who doesn't drive a luxury car. You call a taxi, no wonder you're stuck in traffic. Thinking this, Li Guangyao sarcastically said, you're really living the good life. Everyone drives their own cars. Unexpectedly, you even have a private driver now. As soon as he finished speaking, someone knocked on the door. Sorry, it's rush hour, so I'm late. Seeing this, Xie Haijia quickly stood up, introducing, this is my girlfriend, Chen Na. She's currently a sales representative at 4S, leading in sales. Brothers who need to buy a car, just look for her. Saying this, his heart was filled with a sense of superiority. Competing about money, I might not be as good as them, but compared to girlfriends, my girlfriend is definitely the most beautiful. As soon as she walked in, Chen Na immediately recognized Shen Yuan, the customer who just bought the car yesterday, but seeing that he didn't greet her, she also pretended that this was the first time they met. After a while, everyone in the room had eaten and drank to their heart's content. At this time, Li Yuheng stood up, saying, brothers, after eating and drinking, listen to me for a few words. My quinoa bar is in the upgrade stage. I want to make it better. Everyone here are my brothers. Is anyone willing to invest together and make money? The estimated cost is about 2,40000 won. I'm willing to give up 30% of the shares, which is about 700,000 yuan investment. What do you all think? As soon as he said this, the whole room suddenly became quiet. Everyone carried their own thoughts in their head. Lin Guangyao thought, the Li family earns tens of millions of yuan every year. This 700,000 yuan profit is nothing. It's probably because the previous few investments failed, and his dad cut off his money. Xie Haijia thought, 700,000 yuan, I can't participate. I have to save for 2 years to have that much. Zhao Zhonggang was bored. Going out to eat and drink is for fun. Why bring up investment here? The others were also silent, with their own calculations in their hearts. Whoever speaks up first at this time is really an idiot. Seeing the scene in front of him, Li Yuheng suddenly looked like a clown, standing in the middle of the room looking awkward. Li Yuheng cursed in his heart. These guys usually follow me around, eating, spending, always letting me pay, borrowing money. No one is embarrassed to open their mouths. I've never refused. But today, when I need a little help, everyone is as silent as clams. Shen Yuan is fine. His family is in trouble. let it go, but the other guys are as good as dead. The more he thought about it, the colder his heart became. Li Yuhang opened his mouth. What's wrong? After eating, you're all mute. You guys, say something. At this time, Li Guangyao was the first to speak up. How about this, young Master Li? I don't think there's a need to invest. If you're just short on working capital, everyone can contribute tens of thousands, and just open the bar first, later. If there's a profit, then pay it back. Hearing this, Xie He immediately echoed, yes, yes, if we jump in to contribute in the middle, it's not fair to you. If we do it this way, you won't be at a loss later. He looked around asking, right brothers? The group nodded in agreement, but everyone secretly cursed in their hearts. Everyone can clearly see young Master Li's investment level. The hot pot restaurant, the technicians, were all failures before. And now he's opening a quiet bar. It's no different from throwing money into the sea. This guy can borrow money privately. Why is he pulling everyone in? Everyone is relying on their family. The allowance isn't even enough to spend. Hearing this, Li Yuhang was utterly disappointed. He originally wanted to find someone to cooperate with in the long term, but now it's turned into borrowing money. What's the point? He really overestimated these friends, especially this Li Guangyao. I clearly said it was equity investment, but he deliberately brought up the matter of borrowing money. He put down his glass, saying straightforwardly, forget it, borrowing is another matter. If you all don't have any intention of investing, then let's drop it. Seeing Li Yuhang give up, Li Guangyao laughed with glee. That's how it should be. What's the point of bringing up equity investment and tiring everyone? Just eat and drink comfortably. Let's continue to have fun. The group shouted and clinked glasses again, as if the investment thing had never happened. Only Shen Yuan, from beginning to end, was silently observing, and clearly understood the faces of these people in his heart. I went bankrupt, and I already saw through all of their true nature. Yuhang, what are you still hoping for from these guys? The whole group only knows how to rely on their family's money to eat, drink, and be merry. Besides the label of a young master, what else do they have? Thinking of this, Shen Yuan slowly spoke up. Otherwise, let me invest this 700,000 yuan. As soon as the words fell, the room was silent, even quieter than when Li Yuhang mentioned the investment. A second later, Li Guangyao burst out laughing. Shen Yuan, don't joke. We're not strangers who just met you a day or two ago. That's right, that's right. What's the point of bragging? Do you want to go wash your face to wake up? Young Master Li is already annoyed. He doesn't have the mood to listen to your nonsense. Xie Haijia also sneered. Brother, I'm older than you, and I've experienced more in life. Whatever you do, you have to act according to your ability. Right now, you're not only acting beyond your ability, but you're also exaggerating too much. That's right, Li Guangyao smiled coldly. Shen Yuan, how did you get here? Don't you remember? Or should I pay for your taxi to go back? The room was filled with sarcastic laughter. Chen Na sat on the side, her heart full of confusion. Boss Shen wants to invest 30% of the shares. Why does everyone think he's just bragging? He just ordered a 600,000 yuan car yesterday. What's so difficult about investing 700,000 yuan for someone who can spend money like that? She wanted to speak up to help Shen Yuan explain, but thinking about it, she was just an outsider. What if doing so caused trouble for him? What should she do? Just when she was still hesitating, Shen Yuan completely ignored the ridicule around him. 2 minutes later, he said calmly to Li Yuhang, 700,000 yuan. I've transferred it, check it. As soon as the words fell, the room once again fell into silence. Li Yuhang opened his phone to check, and upon seeing the message, his whole body froze instantly. On the screen, the income of 700,000 yuan was clearly displayed. He didn't say anything, just quietly raised the phone screen towards Li Guangyao and the others. See it with your own eyes? The whole room suddenly held its breath. Li Guangyao widened his eyes, counting several times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Damn it, it's really 700,000 yuan. At the same time, Chen Na also had to be surprised when she sensed that the atmosphere in the room had completely changed. Everyone in the room asked curiously, Young Master Lin, what's the message? But Lin Guangyao suddenly stood up, saying, My family has something going on. I can't continue today. Let's meet again another day. Seeing this, Xie He immediately stood up to ask, Cousin, what's going on? But Lin Guangyao just glared at him irritably, saying, Don't ask, you go home too. Your aunt and uncle are looking for you. But what made Xie Haijia confused was, if his aunt and uncle were looking for him, why didn't they call? Seeing that this cousin of his really had no brains, Lin Guangyao just thought, forget it, I'm too lazy to explain to him. He turned to look at Shen Yuan, grinding his teeth. Where did this guy get the money from, and why did he take a taxi? Tonight, all the glory was robbed by him. At this time, Zhao Zhang also curiously looked at the message. Why is young Master Lin having such a strong reaction? Young Master Li, what's the message? After reading it, he immediately stood up, saying, I also have something to do. I'll take my leave first. Immediately after, the others also said one after another, I also have something to do. Let's gather again another day, young Master Li. The group followed each other out of the room. No one dared to stay for another minute. Xie Haijia was dumbfounded. What's going on? Why is everyone leaving? Even Chen, not standing on the side, understood the problem. Just shook her head slightly, helplessly saying, let's go too. Scene change. Just out of the room, Xie Haijia couldn't help it, asking Chen Na, how did you know they just saw a transfer message? You didn't see the content. Seeing him nagging endlessly, Chen Na replied straightforwardly, yesterday, Shen Yuan bought a car from me, paying once in cash. Hearing this, Xie Haijia still didn't believe it, asking again, really, how could that be? But Chen Na just smiled coldly, saying, what would I lie to you for? I still have his car purchase contract on my phone. Before she could say anything more, Xie Haijia's complexion suddenly changed. He immediately switched to a reproachful tone, sternly saying, nah, what you did was wrong. Already knowing he had money, why didn't you tell me from the beginning? You don't have a heart in your work like this, don't do that next time. Before he could finish speaking, Chen Na immediately shook off his hand, coldly saying, next time what, Xie Haijia, today I've seen clearly what kind of person you are. I really misjudged you. Don't contact me again from now on. Scene change. In the private room, Li Yuhang patted Shen Yuan on the shoulder, smiling bitterly. If I had known you were so rich, I wouldn't have organized this party today. It's really a waste of money. Shen Yuan smiled faintly, pouring a glass of wine, saying, it's good to know now, none of those people are trustworthy. They're only good for partying. But when there's something you need them for, they definitely won't show up. He put down his glass, looking at Li Yuhang, asking, tell me what your bar plan is. Even though I'm just a minor shareholder, I still want to participate in the planning of the operation later. Okay, let me tell you about the plan first. Thus, for the next half hour, the two discussed the design, style and operation of the bar, until in the end, even Li Yuhang couldn't help but laugh and curse. Damn it, you're really something. College wasn't a waste, you already have such a vision at the start of doing business. Shen Yuan stretched lazily, smiling, saying, this is called business talent, but I don't have time to go to the bar to check every day. I need to find a reliable manager. Okay, I'll listen to you. Time passed quickly. An hour later, Chen Na sent a message to Shen Yuan. Boss Shen, the car you ordered has arrived at the showroom. You can come to pay the remaining amount and pick up the car on Friday. Immediately after, Shen Yuan replied, no need to rush. Are you free tomorrow night? I have some questions about the car I want to ask you directly. Looking at this message, Chen Na suddenly pondered, what does Boss Shen mean? Meanwhile, Shen Yuan smiled meaningfully. Right now, only Min Hui is a money tree. The cashback from the system is still limited. I have to find a way to expand my power and earn profits from multiple sources to be able to fully utilize this system. What's more, Chen Na has a top-notch appearance and figure. Indulging a beauty like this with money is not a loss at all. Thinking this, he immediately texted again, see you tomorrow at the Hong Kong restaurant, 4th floor of the ESC Center. Time flew by. The next day, at the Hong Kong restaurant on the 4th floor of the ESC shopping center, Chen Na had already sat at the table. She looked at her watch, thinking, Boss Shen hasn't arrived yet. Am I too early? But just then, a middle-aged man sitting nearby unexpectedly looked towards her. Why is she here too? Especially since she's wearing the 4S showroom uniform. It's clear she just got off work. There's no chance to talk privately. Today is really a good opportunity. This man was none other than the general manager of the 4S showroom, Zhang Xiaotian. He saw Chen Na and immediately turned his head to say to his subordinates, you guys find a place to have lunch on your own today. I have some private business. Hearing this, the staff immediately understood, and quickly replied, yes, the general manager should take care of his business first. Going downstairs, the two employees were still discussing animatedly. Do you think Chen Na will agree to the general manager? I don't think so. She doesn't look like that kind of person. It's hard to say. Normally who would eat alone here? Maybe she deliberately created an opportunity for the general manager to meet her by chance, always putting on a straight face. Who knew she would be like this? But what the two didn't know was, right behind, someone was quietly eavesdropping, none other than Chen Na's ex-boyfriend, Xie Haijia. Chen Na creating a chance encounter. With who? At the same time, at the restaurant on the 4th floor, Zhang Xiaotian had stood up, walking towards Chen Na's table. He smiled insincerely. Chen Na, what a coincidence, you're eating here too. Alone. Do you mind if I sit with you? Hearing this, Chen Na maintained her calm expression, replying indifferently, General Manager, I'm sorry, I already have an appointment with a friend. Hearing this sentence, Zhang Xiaotian sneered in his heart, this little girl is still playing hard to get with me. Huh. Not caring, he slammed his hand on the table, smiling lewdly. So what if you have a friend, let's just eat together, it's no problem. Seeing his face as thick as a toad, Chen Na's expression turned cold, directly saying straightforwardly, General Manager, please keep a proper distance, you have a family, you shouldn't act like this. But as soon as she said this, Zhang Xiaotian didn't care, but casually pulled a chair and sat down next to her, smiling slyly. So you're only embarrassed because I have a family, huh? That's easy. A divorce is all it takes, right? But neither he nor Chen Na knew that, in another corner of the shopping mall, Xie Haijia had gone crazy searching for her everywhere. Damn it, Chen Na dumped me and went to flirt with another guy? Is she looking down on me? I earn 450,000 yuan a year, drive a car worth more than 300,000, what do I lack? Before long, he found the restaurant. As soon as he saw Chen Na sitting next to Zhang Xiaotian, he gritted his teeth cursing, damn it, so I lost to a fat pig like this. Immediately, he rushed straight into the restaurant, pointing his finger at Zhang Xiaotian, loudly cursing, you two are really a pair of sluts, so you're secretly sneaking around behind my back here, huh? Hearing this, Zhang Xiaotian gaped his mouth, blankly asking, what are you saying, who are you? But before he could react, Xie Haijia landed a punch straight into his face, hitting and shouting, I'm still wanting to ask, who are you? Immediately, the two started fighting. The restaurant became chaotic. Where did this little punk come from? He even dares to hit me. At the same time, Shen Yuan had arrived at the entrance of the restaurant. Looking inside, he immediately recognized that one of the two people fighting was Xie Hiya. This guy is planning to play both sides. If it wasn't for this fat pig, acting as a sacrificial lamb, the person being beaten lying flat on the ground right now, could have been me. Thinking this, Shen Yuan quickly stepped forward, grabbing Chen Na's hand. Calmly saying, Chen, let's go, don't pay attention to them. On the way out of the shopping mall, Chen Na walked and gossiped with Shen Yuan. Actually, I only knew Xie Haijia for less than a month. The first time I went out to eat with him, I realized, his personality was too terrible. Luckily, I broke up with him that day. Shen Yuan also added, it's good if you realize the true face of this kind of person early, it's fine now, everything is over. Chen Na was a little embarrassed, but, Zhang Xiaotian is my boss, now that he's being beaten for no reason like this, I don't know how he'll make things difficult for me later. Hearing this, Shen Yuan said indifferently, that kind of boss isn't worth you continuing to work under him. Why not just find another job? But Chen Na shook her head, saying with helplessness, do you think it's easy to find a job now? If I switch to another showroom, wouldn't I have to start all over again? How many customers I've accumulated over the years, wouldn't it all be wasted? She looked out of the car window, her face full of boredom. Actually, doing sales for a long time is also very tiring. I also want to change careers, for example, opening a small cafe, opening the door when I'm in a good mood, closing the shop when I'm in a bad mood. Wouldn't that be great? But opening a cafe costs at least 300,000 or 400,000 yuan. I don't know when I'll be able to save enough money. Hearing this, Shen Yuan smiled faintly, slowly saying, you want to open a cafe, but don't have enough capital, right? What's so difficult about that? What if someone is willing to invest? In his mind at this time, he already had a plan. After investing 700,000 yuan in Li Yuheng's bar, there's still exactly 300,000 yuan. The special investment fund from the system, using this money, to open a cafe, both taking advantage of the financial advantage, and having another new money tree. But Chen Na didn't think much, just patted him on the shoulder, joking, then, I'll immediately quit my job, and come help you work, not needing to think. She was just joking, but unexpectedly, Shen Yuan replied seriously, okay, you go submit your resignation tomorrow, I'll invest 300,000 yuan, to open a cafe later, you'll be the manager of the cafe for me. Hearing this, Chen Na was completely stunned. She turned her head, looking at Shen Yuan with an incredulous expression, are you serious? But Shen Yuan just calmly smiled. On the system screen, Chen Na's favorability had increased to 64 points. He thought, at first, I was worried about not having enough favorability points to take care of this girl. Now, hasn't a new money tree already appeared? Not long ago, Chen Na looked at him, a little doubtful. Shen Yuan, you're joking, right? But he just replied indifferently, I'm serious, what's wrong? Don't want to help me work? After the cafe opens, your fixed salary will be 12,000 yuan a month. In addition, if you maintain stable business for 3 months, I'll give you a 200,000 yuan car. Your current car should also be updated. Hearing this, Chen Na's eyes widened in surprise. If it's really as he said, not only is there no sales pressure, but just working for 3 months, and I get a car, my total annual income will exceed 300,000 yuan. Could it be he wants to keep me as his mistress? Thinking this, she looked directly at Shen Yuan and said seriously, Shen Yuan, for my sake, you don't have to do this. This offer is very tempting, but I don't want to become a canary trapped in a cage, especially if I have to become the other woman. Hearing this, Shen Yuan just smiled faintly and said calmly, you're overthinking. I'm not just opening a single coffee shop, my goal is to build a chain of stores. This is just the first pilot project. The relationship between you and me is simply that of a boss and an employee. Seeing him say this, Chen Na hesitated for a moment, then replied, well, let me think about it. At the same time, Shen Yuan's phone suddenly vibrated, a message from Feng Minhui. Shen Yuan, are you free tonight? If so, let's go have some cold drinks together. Looking at the words cold drinks, sweat suddenly poured down Shen Yuan's forehead. Minhui's needs are really strong. That, drinking is fine, but the frequency needs to be controlled a bit. Miss Chen, I have something to do, so I'll be going now. Think it over carefully, and give me an answer soon. After finishing his instructions to Chen Na, he went directly to the Defuhao Hotel, room 808. As soon as he entered the room, Feng Minhui rushed from behind and hugged him tightly. Shen Yuan, I missed you. But before he could even react, she suddenly stopped, her face turning cold. Wait a minute, she took a deep breath and frowned, saying, you smell like another woman's perfume. Huh, no way. Shen Yuan felt a pang of guilt and hurriedly raised his hand to smell. Could it be because he sat in Chen Na's car, so he got her perfume on him? Feng Minhui hurriedly pushed him away. Did you find another woman behind my back? Tell me, who have you been secretly seeing? Seeing this, Shen Yuan immediately hugged her and coaxed, how could that be? Today, I only went to the 4S showroom to complete the paperwork for the car. I might have gotten the perfume smell from the female sales staff. You know, those salesgirls there often wear a lot of perfume. Hearing this, Feng Minhui blinked, her expression softening a little. All right, but next time, if you go to see other girls, you must tell me in advance, and keep your distance from those female car sales staff, understand? Shen Yuan nodded in agreement, but in his heart, he thought, this isn't a matter of being unfaithful or not. The system's task is to spend money on women and earn profits through rebates. To earn more, I can't just stick to one person. At this time, Feng Minhui turned her head and said, all right, I'll go take a shower first. But just as she was about to enter the bathroom, Shen Yuan unexpectedly pulled her back. He leaned close to her ear. He whispered softly, don't shower yet, I really like the scent on you. Feng Minhui immediately blushed and said shyly, then, we're the same, Shen Yuan. Actually, I also like your scent. Seeing her daring to steal his lines, Shen Yuan smiled mischievously and directly pushed her onto the bed. Hui, you really have ignited the fire in my heart. Then, the two of them, like moths to a flame, rushed towards each other. Feng Minhui, while experiencing, softly called his name, Shen Yuan, I like you. 2 hours later, Feng Minhui, still full of energy, cried out, Shen Yuan, I still want more. He hurriedly made an excuse. Wait for me to take a shower. I just sweated, so I'm sticky and uncomfortable. Shen Yuan, completely exhausted, his legs unable to stand steadily, had to lean on the wall to walk. Minhui's needs are truly greater than Zhou Wanding's. She's having a great time, and I'm about to be completely drained. Looking at the system panel, he suddenly realized, why does this kind of exercise greatly increase a girl's favorability? Last time, it went up to 86 points in just one night. Today, after only 2 rounds, it jumped to 90. Right at this moment, the system suddenly issued a notification. A female character with over 90 points of favorability has been detected, activating the next stage of the mission. Rewards, a cash prize of 1 million yuan, a millionaire lottery ticket, a 1 million yuan spending card, and an invincible power card. Seeing the rewards, Shen Yuan couldn't help but get excited. Damn, winning the millionaire lottery ticket, with this money, explaining the source of my wealth will be much easier. I can also help my family pay off their debts. As for the invincible power card, he couldn't help but think darkly. I didn't expect the system to reward this kind of thing. So, from now on, I can run wild. I'm sorry, Minhui, I also have to rise up. From now on, it's not you who has the upper hand. but I will control you. Thinking this, Shen Yuan immediately clicked on the skill panel to activate the power card. In the next moment, a bright golden light emitted from below his body. Seeing this, Shen Yuan was stunned and exclaimed, "Awesome! I can clearly feel the abundant energy surging between my legs." The reward for reaching 90 points of female favorability is really amazing. It seems that this system really knows how to take care of the player, giving exactly what's needed. But, to get 90 points of favorability is not easy. Li Xiao, although she has passed the 60 mark, to develop to the level of Huihui, there is still a long way to go. Long-legged, black silk Chen Na is also above 60, but it seems that I have to take it one step at a time. I wonder when another girl with over 90 favorability will appear, and what rewards the system will give then. Never mind, I won't think about it anymore. The important thing now is to experience the invincible attack skill that the system just gave me. Feng Minhui saw Shen Yuan return and asked, "I thought you were going to take a shower." Shen Yuan took her hand and said he changed his mind. Then he pushed her to lie on her stomach on the bed and whispered, "Like this." The next moment was a storm, and the sisters were so ecstatic that they forgot their way home. "Ah, Shen Yuan, this is a bit." Meanwhile, Chen Na called Qianqian and reported, "There's a guy who offered me 300,000 yuan to open a shop, and promised to give me a 200,000 yuan car after 3 months of business. Do you think he's trying to keep me?" Qianqian was worried after hearing this. "Oh, be careful, you might be scammed." "No, we've met several times. Last time, he even brought his girlfriend to my place to buy a car, and he's 5 or 6 years younger than me." Qianqian was stunned. "Oh, the customers who buy cars from you are all old uncles. He's so young and already driving a fancy car, and is he handsome?" Chen Na stammered, "He's okay, but he offered 300,000 yuan to open a shop, and then he'll give me a 200,000 yuan car. A guy who is rich, handsome, and young. What are you thinking about? Age doesn't matter. A young pilot flying an old airplane is perfect. You've hit the jackpot." Chen Na said sadly, "But he has a girlfriend." "But a girlfriend and a wife are different. Nah, if you meet such a good deal, even if he has a wife, so what? Besides, you're more than capable of snatching him." She shouted in panic, "What are you saying?" Chen Na was surprised. "Oh, I thought you had a boyfriend." Qianqian said calmly, "So what if I have a boyfriend? If a sugar daddy offers, I'll break up with him immediately." "Okay, bye, my boyfriend is back." Chen Na dropped her hands. Her mind was in turmoil. She could only think of Shen Yuan. At this time, Feng Minhui was drenched in sweat, lying panting. "Shen Yuan, you're completely different from before." Shen Yuan asked back, "Different how? Stronger?" Feng Minhui covered her face with the blanket. Shyly, "Only 40 minutes and you did 2 rounds, incredible." Before she could recover, Shen Yuan approached again, smiling slyly. "Do you like it? Let's do another round." Feng Minhui was startled. You're still going strong." Shen Yuan smiled. "Huihui. I remember you studied dance. This time, you take the lead, okay?" She blushed. But I'm not good at it." Shen Yuan hugged her tightly and smiled. "If you don't know, you learn. Practice makes perfect." Feng Minhui pouted. "You jerk." Then she transformed into a female knight and went into battle again. The next morning, Feng Minhui went back to school. Shen Yuan lay in bed, thinking, "I'm free this morning, I'll sleep a little longer." But suddenly he remembered, he still had the lottery tickets from the system. He hurriedly checked the results. The first 6 red numbers, 3, 4, 4, 22, 26, 27, a perfect match. The last blue number, 1, also matched. Wow. 6,8 million? A 6 million jackpot. I have to tell my parents the good news right away. Ever since our family went bankrupt, my parents have suffered so much. Shen Yuan immediately rushed home, and as soon as he entered the door, he shouted, "Mom, I'm home." His mother scolded him affectionately, "If you're home, you're home. Why are you shouting?" Shen Yuan looked around and asked, "Where's Dad? Mom, call Dad out here. I have something to tell you both." His father had just arrived home and was pulled aside by him. He asked urgently, "What's so important that you have to wait for me? Did you get into trouble again?" Shen Yuan smiled. "Dad, what are you thinking? It's good news. Mom and Dad, sit down. Our family has struck it rich. I won the lottery, 6 million. Upon hearing this, his parents were not happy, but even more worried. His father frowned. "Son, have you been under too much pressure from studying lately? I'll take care of the debts. You just study hard and don't daydream." Seeing that his parents didn't believe him, Shen Yuan took out his phone and showed it to his father. "Dad, look carefully before you speak." His father took the phone and stared at the numbers. 3, 4, 4. A few seconds later, he shouted, "Honey, it's real. This kid really won 6.8 million. After deducting 20% tax, there's more than 5 million left. With this money, after paying off the debts, our family will be less burdened." His mother was overjoyed. "Son, I have to record this merit in the Golden Book. We have to go out to celebrate this afternoon." Shen Yuan scratched his head and smiled. "Mom and Dad, I'm about to graduate. I'm planning to start a business, as a way to train myself." His father, Mr. Shen, spoke up. "It's very difficult to do business now, but it's good to have ambition. Young people must venture out. This money is yours. You decide what to do with it. Your mother and I will only keep a portion. In case you lose money, there will be something to cover it." Shen Yuan smiled. "Mom and Dad, I'll only take 1 million. You can use the rest." Both of them nodded. "Okay, go ahead and do it. Your mother and I support you." At the same time, at the car showroom, Zhang Xiaotian pointed at his face and said coldly, "Chen Na, I'm sure you know why I called you up here. Look carefully, this is your boyfriend's work." Chen Na said calmly, "Director, he and I went our separate ways a long time ago. If you're injured, go find him." Zhang Xiaotian smiled slyly. "Chen Na, that's not how it works. Debts are paid by the debtor. If it weren't for you, would I have been beaten?" He calculated everything, using this to pressure you. Chen Na angrily shouted, "What does a fight have to do with me? I told you clearly yesterday that I had an appointment. You came in and sat with me on your own." Zhang Xiaotian changed his tone, coldly. "Yesterday you left without permission, and there was no one to receive the customers. This month, I'm suspending your right to receive customers. When you've thought it over, come see me." Chen Na was furious. "Based on what? I asked for leave yesterday." Zhang Xiaotian laughed loudly. "Are you new to this job? Based on the fact that I'm the boss, here, I'm the law." He was insidious. Suspending the right to receive customers meant cutting off commission. In a month, she would only have a basic salary of 1,200 yuan, not even enough to cover rent. But he didn't expect Chen Na to turn around and walk away. A petty general manager acting like he's so great. "This crappy job, I don't need it." Seeing that she really quit, Zhang Xiaotian panicked. "Chen Na, don't be hasty. Think carefully." But Chen Na was now only thinking of Shen Yuan. Although he looked ordinary, he was different from others. He was reliable, thoughtful, and calculated. No matter what he planned to do, working for him was also a plan B. Thinking this, she said decisively, "No need to think. I quit." Minutes later, after completing the resignation procedures, Chen Na texted Shen Yuan, "I quit my job. Is yesterday's matter still on?" Shen Yuan replied immediately, "Congratulations on escaping hell and ascending to heaven. If you're free, go look at some locations. If you like one, rent it immediately." Shen Yuan was secretly delighted. The remaining 300,000 yuan investment, no need to find another project. A moment later, Shen Yuan pushed open the door of Teacher Li's office. "Teacher Li, I'm here." At this time, Teacher Li Xiao was holding a pile of books and said to Shen Yuan, "I'm sorry to trouble you. I have to move offices, but there's so much stuff. I was going to ask the class president, but he took a leave of absence." Shen Yuan pointed to the bookshelf and said, "It's no problem. I don't have any classes this morning, and I'm free at home. Do all these things need to be moved?" "It's just a few books and documents. I can handle it myself. But the desk and filing cabinet are a bit heavy, and I have to take some books off the shelves so they don't fall and break during the move." Seeing the teacher unable to reach, Shen Yuan moved closer and said, "Teacher Li, let me help you." But just as he stood close, Li Xiao suddenly felt something strange touch her back. In an instant, the teacher's face turned red, and her heart beat rapidly. "This distance is even closer than last time." Li Xiao bit her lip and thought to herself, "Shen Yuan, does he really have feelings for me?" Rewinding a few minutes, Li Xiao blushed slightly and asked softly, "Are you done, Shen Yuan?" Just as he finished taking the items and was about to answer, "I'm done," the door was kicked open with a bang. Two students rushed in and shouted, "Teacher, we're here to help you." As soon as they entered the room, both of them froze, a big question mark automatically appearing in their minds. "Huh? What's going on? Why is Teacher Li's face so red?" Seeing this, Shen Yuan immediately spoke up to reassure them. "Why are you just standing there? Come in and help move things. Carry this filing cabinet to the office next door first." At this time, Li Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. Luckily, those two came a little late, otherwise, I would have been so embarrassed, but in her heart, she was also confused. This kid is getting bolder and bolder. At home is one thing, but he even dares to do it in the office. But why do I suddenly feel a little bit excited? No way, no way, Shen Yuan is my student. Absolutely not. While Li Xiao was still lost in thought, Shen Yuan suddenly noticed that her favorability had reached 71. He was startled. Huh? Just a tiny action just now increased favorability. Thinking about it, it wasn't his fault, but rather that teacher Lai was so well endowed. If it had been a more petite girl, he definitely wouldn't have touched her. He didn't expect the head teacher's favorability to be so easy to increase. It seems that he should visit her more often in the future. Feelings need to be cultivated gradually. Saturday, 800 meters from the south gate of the school. Two girls sat in a coffee shop, looking and praising Li Zhanpeng endlessly. I heard you bought this car for 280,000 yuan, and paid in one lump sum. You haven't even graduated yet, but you're already cruising in a BMW. You've surpassed 99% of your classmates. Seeing the admiring eyes of his two friends, Li Zhanpeng became even more confident, thinking to himself, humph, that Feng Minhui girl is still acting all high and mighty with me. With my conditions, girls are lining up for me. Thinking this, he answered arrogantly, haha, some people even criticize BMWs. What? They criticize this? How rich must their family be? There are indeed some people who don't know what's good. Even if they work hard for 3 to 5 years, they probably won't be able to afford this car. But when his gaze swept over to the next table, his eyes suddenly widened, and his mouth dropped open. Wow. This girl is incredibly beautiful. With legs like that, you could play with them all year and not get tired. It would be worth losing 15 years of my life. Before he could even recover, the two girls with him suddenly shouted, look, is that car self-driving? It's so cool. What kind of car is that? Li Zhanpeng glanced at it and sneered, it must be one of the best cars in the industry. But just as he clearly saw the face of the car owner, the two girls exclaimed in unison, oh, isn't that Shen Yuan? Li Zhanpeng was stunned. What, Shen Yuan? That poor kid, didn't his family go bankrupt? How can he be driving such a fancy car? After handing him a glass of water, Chen Na said, the owner just messaged me that she'll be coming to see the car run later. How is it? Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. At this time, the two girls with Li Zhanpeng started whispering, Zhanpeng, don't you see, Shen Yuan seems a bit off. How? How could Li Zhanpeng not notice the abnormality? In his heart, he had already cursed hundreds of times. That Shen Yuan kid just dumped his old girlfriend not long ago, and now he's already with a beautiful girl from outside the school. Just then, a voice rang out. Hello, Miss Chen. I was a little late because I had to pick up my child. The woman was the owner of the coffee shop, Lin Wuchang. She looked at Shen Yuan, shook his hand, and said, Mr. Shen, you look so young. I'll be quick. My shop is still doing okay, but because it's next to the school, the customers are just average. Right now, I'm too busy. I have to take care of my child and a bunch of other things. I can't manage the shop. Therefore, I decided to transfer it for 300,000 yuan. Hearing this, Shen Yuan calculated in his mind, I have 300,000 yuan to invest, but if I spend all 300,000, I need to keep at least 50,000 for startup capital, and to pay Chen Na's first month's salary. Thinking this, he said, how about this? I won't bargain with you. One price, 250,000 yuan. Actually, this price was lower than the 270,000 yuan that Lin Wuchang actually wanted, but she understood that if she didn't transfer it this time, she might not meet anyone so decisive again, so she asked, if that's the price, can you sign the contract and pay today? Of course, after signing, I'll transfer the money to you immediately. Seeing Shen Yuan's decisiveness, Lin Wuchang immediately called the employee, Xiao Chu. From now on, Mr. Shen will be your new boss. Show him around the store. Hello, boss. Shen Yuan pointed to Chen Na and said softly, just show Miss Chen Na around. I won't be coming to the store often, so she will be in charge of everything in the shop. Witnessing this scene, the two girls with Li Zhanpeng couldn't help but be surprised. Did you hear that? It's completely absurd. In just a blink of an eye, a 250,000 yuan deal was completed. Moreover, it's clear that Shen Yuan bought this shop for the girl he's with. Li Zhanpeng was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Just then, Lin Wuchang's phone suddenly rang. Excuse me, I'll go outside to take this call. After she left, Chen Na leaned close to Shen Yuan and whispered, do you know, this Mrs. Lin seems to be the wife of Zhang Shandong? Zhang Shandong is the guy who fought with Xie Haijia at that platinum place. He's also my boss at the car showroom. Hearing this, Shen Yuan was a little surprised. Really, he has such a beautiful wife at home, and he's still thinking about using his power to hit on female employees. He's hopeless. This Shen Yuan is the first person who cannot accept this kind of thing. Chen Na continued. I still have all the messages he sent me. hitting on me and threatening me. I was planning to wait until I got my salary and then expose him to the whole car sales industry so they know his true face. Do you think I should tell Mrs. Lin? I think she seems like a good person, but I'm afraid of hurting her." Shen Yuan shook his head. "That's not a good idea. Once the messages are leaked, Zhang Shandong will definitely know who exposed him. A middle-aged man in his 40s loses his job but still has a wife and child. He might do things no one expects. Just leave it to me. I guarantee I'll make him remember this forever, but I absolutely won't let you get involved." Hearing Shen Yuan say this, Chen Na said gratefully, "Shen Yuan, thank you so much." Shen Yuan added, "I just transferred 250,000 yuan to Mrs. Lin, and 50,000 yuan to you. 24,000 of that is your salary for the previous 2 months, and the rest is startup capital." The system notified, "Ding ding, the host has invested all 1 million of the seed fund. The startup mission is complete. Level up to junior investor. Unlock the chain mission. Increase the fund to 10 million to expand. Investment income is tripled. Completing the mission will grant secret assets." Shen Yuan was overjoyed. Another huge gift. This time it's multiplied by 10 million to spend freely, and there are secret assets. I wonder what they are. Lin Wuchang finished her call and came over to say, "Mr. Shen, the money has arrived. It was a pleasure doing business with you. I'll take my leave." Shaking hands in farewell, Shen Yuan felt her hand was soft, like it had no bones, and also a little plump. Is this the charm of a married woman? The more he thought about it, the more he liked it. He smiled ambiguously. "We'll definitely meet again." Shen Yuan took Chen Na to eat Japanese food, reasoning that today was a good day to celebrate their cooperation. Looking at Chen Na, Shen Yuan thought to himself, "She's truly irresistible. Any ordinary guy would definitely fall for her." He mustered all his courage and said, "Why don't you sit closer to me?" Then he put his arm around her waist and pulled her closer. Shen Yuan thought to himself, "I spent 300,000 yuan to buy the shop and 12,000 yuan on monthly salary. I have to get some interest, right?" Chen Na also understood, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Could he be targeting the profits of the coffee shop? Mrs. Lin said that breaking even would be lucky. "I only have this personal capital to repay him." Shen Yuan's hand had already moved forward. Chen Na hurriedly said, "The waiter is coming." "Shen Yuan, don't. Here it takes a long time to serve the food." But Shen Yuan didn't stop, and even used both hands, making Chen Na moan softly. Just then, a voice rang out, "Mr. Shen, the food is ready." Shen Yuan had to withdraw his forces. "Come in quickly." The food was served, and he even thoughtfully put some on Chen Na's plate. "This is the restaurant's specialty. Try it." Seeing his attentiveness, Chen Na thought to herself, Shen Yuan is quite handsome, just a bit too flirty. He already has such a beautiful girl, but he's still chasing after others. But now I'm on board, it's too late to regret it. Minutes later, the two went to the counter to pay. "Mr. Shen, the total is 2,652 yuan, please scan the code." Shen Yuan thought to himself, this meal costs 2,652 yuan, but the system multiplies it by 3, which means I just earned 5,304 yuan while eating. Making money is as easy as pie. Chen Na thought, this meal costs the same as my commission from selling a car. He's really rich, spending 2,000 yuan like I spend 20 yuan. On the way back, Chen Na said, "I want to go back to the shop and learn more from Xiao Chu. Tomorrow is the start, and I want to get familiar quickly." Shen Yuan replied, "It's 8:30 now. Xiao Chu gets off work at 9. If you go now, you'll just bother him and he'll dislike you. Go home and rest." Chen Na agreed, "Okay then, thanks again for driving me home. I'll report to you after I finish tomorrow. See you later." Before she could leave, Shen Yuan smiled, "I'm a little thirsty. Can I go upstairs for a drink of water?" Chen Na's face turned red, thinking, isn't this a bit too fast? What happened in the private room just now was the limit? She stammered, I don't think it's convenient." Shen Yuan looked puzzled. "Do you have a guy at your place?" Chen Na hurriedly said, "Of course not. Xie Haijia and I broke up. You'll just drink water and then leave." Seeing her soften, Shen Yuan laughed, "Of course. But you can keep me overnight if you want." As soon as they entered the house, Shen Yuan hugged her tightly from behind. Chen Na's face flushed slightly. She asked, "You said you'd only drink water." "I am drinking water, but not the kind you're thinking of." Saying this, he bent down and nibbled on her lips. At the same time, Xie Haijia drove over, thinking, "Na quit her job probably because she wants me to apologize. We can be friends, and later I'll have a chance to win her back." He looked up and saw that the lights in Chen Na's house were off. She must not be home. He placed the bouquet of roses in front of the door, thinking, "This bouquet means I'll always love you." my love won't change. She's smart, she'll definitely know what I mean. But when he reached the door, he suddenly heard ambiguous sounds. Don't. Slow down. Xie Haijia froze. It's Na's voice. She said there was nothing between her and Shen Yuan, but now. He was furious and banged on the door, shouting, Shen Yuan, get out here. Inside the house, Shen Yuan heard Xie Haijia's voice and smiled slyly. What a brainless idiot. He broke up with her and still wants to salvage it. Annoying. Chen Na was in a daze. It sounds like there's a voice at the door. Who's knocking? You misheard. It was the next door apartment. Someone was knocking there. Come on, let's go into the bedroom. Thinking this, he immediately carried Chen Na into the bedroom. Shen Yuan, I'm still not mentally prepared. Be gentle, okay? Half an hour later, Xie Haijia knelt in front of the door, looking dazed. It seems that Nana is completely in his hands now. I really have no chance, he muttered. Nana, at least remind him to use protection. Time flew by, and more than an hour had passed. Chen Na, trembling all over, tried to say, studying this way is comfortable. Yes, but it's a bit tiring. What are you doing? Shen Yuan gently turned her over and reassured her, lie still like this, it will be less tiring. Shen Yuan, since obtaining the enhanced power of the big brother, his stamina was boundless, he couldn't stop. He also didn't expect that on the surface, Chen Na seemed so outgoing, but in reality, she was very traditional. That very fact made him even more interested. In the blink of an eye, it was already bright daylight. As soon as he opened his eyes, Shen Yuan smelled a fragrant aroma filling his nostrils, the smell of toast and fried eggs. Looking at Chen Na's back as she busily cooked breakfast, a feeling of warmth suddenly surged in his heart. This girl is truly considerate. This feeling is completely different from when I'm with Huey Wee in a hotel. The hotel style can't have this kind of warmth. This is the feeling that only comes from being at home. Just then, the system's notification sound rang in his head. A perfect man must have his own property to create a better living environment for himself and the women around him. Time-limited mission. Within 24 hours, buy a house of no less than 100 square meters for Chen Na. Mission Reward 1. Double the purchase price of the house. Mission Reward 2. After purchase, the owner will receive a mysterious property. Note, Mission Reward 1 can be stacked with the favorability-based rebate mechanism. Shen Yuan exclaimed in surprise, wow, I just thought about it. And the big brother has already arranged it. With the system's generosity, this house is definitely not ordinary. Maybe that mysterious property is a huge villa. Occasionally throwing a pool party would be amazing, he smiled to himself. It seems that in the future, I still have to actively explore more high-quality girls. The probability of receiving unexpected gifts like this will be even higher. At this time, Chen Na saw that he was awake and smiled brightly. Why did you wake up so early? Breakfast won't be ready for another 2 minutes. Shen Yuan looked at her with a meaningful gaze. Is there only breakfast this morning? But in his heart, he thought, if Chen Na's favorability reaches 90, I wonder what the reward will be. Thinking of that, he hugged her tightly from behind. Seeing this, Chen Na was startled and hurriedly said, wasn't last night enough? And it's broad daylight, it's embarrassing. But Shen Yuan just smiled and replied, you just make your breakfast, and I'll eat my breakfast, we won't delay each other. Then he continued, if you're free this morning, let's go house hunting, I'll buy you one. Hearing Shen Yuan say this, Chen Na froze. A dozen thoughts suddenly popped into her head. Shen Yuan has already helped me buy the coffee shop, spending 300,000 yuan, now he wants to buy me a house too. Although Tancheng is not a big city, a cheap apartment still costs more than 1 million yuan. Moreover, from the inside out, I already completely belong to him. What else do I have to give him? What does he want from me? Is it just because I made him happy last night? Chen Na remained silent, not uttering a word. Shen Yuan then softly asked, don't you like it? Chen Na, upon hearing this, blushed crimson, stammering, it's not that, it's just too sudden, and it's too much money. Your money isn't leaves from a fig tree. Little did she know, to Shen Yuan, his money was exactly like fig leaves. The money in his account that he could use to buy a house was already over 3,5 million yuan. If he spent it all, the reward from the system would help him get back 5 times that amount, which meant he would have more than 17 million yuan. Thinking this, Shen Yuan, without hesitation, hugged Chen Na and softly said, just go all out, buying a house for your girl, what's there to worry about? Choose a big one, over 120 square meters, I don't want you to suffer. Then he lowered his voice and teased, think about it. Last night, the two of us were going wild, and this place has terrible soundproofing. The 2 neighboring houses probably heard everything. Staying in this house is not a good idea. I take part of the blame, but honestly, you were screaming a bit too loud. Chen Na suddenly exclaimed, "Oh no, I almost forgot, my two best friends are coming over to see the coffee shop at 10:30 this morning. Can we postpone looking at houses?" But Shen Yuan insisted, "Buying a house isn't like going to the market to buy vegetables. You have to choose carefully, and there are a lot of procedures. It's unlikely that it can be done in one afternoon. Let's take our time and get everything done right." Chen Na could only nod in agreement. "All right, I'll let them know." After that, she messaged Qianqian, "I have something to do and can't come to the coffee shop. Let's meet tonight." Changing scenes, Qianqian stared at her phone, then turned to Lulu and said, "Nana says she's busy and can't come to the coffee shop." Lulu heard this and asked, "Oh, why, this girl Lulu's real name is Lu Menglu, a real fitness trainer, with a perfect body." Qianqian held her phone and said, "I think it's probably about the coffee shop, or maybe Nana is just making excuses again. No man is that easily fooled, there's no way he'd suddenly spend 300,000 yuan on her." Lulu retorted, saying Nana wasn't the type to show off. There must be a hidden reason. Why not just text her and ask directly? In Lulu's mind, she was calculating, in all these years, she hadn't met a guy who was young, handsome, and rich like this, who knew Nana would strike gold. This time, she definitely had to meet him. Just as Qianqian texted to ask for the reason, Lulu suddenly shouted like she'd won the lottery, "Oh my god, can you believe it? He's taking Nana to buy a house?" Hearing this hot news, Lulu was as restless as if she were sitting on a pile of hot coals. She couldn't sit still anymore. Buying a house isn't like buying a bag or lipstick, where you can just buy it if you like it. It's buying a house. Even a 40-square-meter bird's nest would cost nearly 500,000 yuan, not to mention the coffee shop. They've only known each other for a short time, and this guy has already spent almost 1 billion yuan on Nana. Today, I have to meet this person no matter what. Lulu's mind was racing. Even if Nana has managed to tie him down, a man like that can't possibly have only her. There must be a bunch of other girls outside, and when it comes to seducing men, I might even be better than Nana. Thinking this, Lulu said to Qianqian, "Hurry up and ask them where they're going, and tell them we'll go there to help them choose a house. Anyway, we're free today. More people, more ideas, it's better, right?" Saying this, Lulu silently apologized to Chen Na. "Nana, I have to be rude to you this time. It's better for us sisters to benefit than for some unknown vixen to snatch him away." "Okay, let me ask," Qianqian quickly replied to the message. Arriving at the place, Lu Menglu couldn't help but widen her eyes in surprise. "What the hell is this? It's even the Songhu Tiandi area. The smallest unit here costs millions. Just for keeping someone. He's this extravagant. When will it be my turn to have this kind of luck?" Soon, Qianqian saw Chen Na and waved vigorously, "Nana. Long time no see. And who is this handsome guy next to you? Aren't you going to introduce us?" Hearing this, Chen Na turned to Shen Yuan and said, "These are my two best friends. She's Lu Menglu, a fitness trainer, and this is Ho Qianqian, a salesperson for a luxury car brand." Then she turned to introduce him, "Menglu, Qianqian, this is Shen Yuan." As soon as she finished introducing him, Lu Menglu approached, her tone full of innuendo. "Hello." She glanced at Shen Yuan from head to toe and smiled. "You look a little thin. You need to build some muscle. When you have time, come to our gym to work out." In her heart, she was already jealous to the point of fainting. "I can't believe that Nana's sugar daddy looks only about 25 years old. Rich, young, and handsome. It's infuriating." Shen Yuan heard this and just smiled calmly. "No thanks. If I go to your gym, I'm afraid I won't be able to concentrate on working out." Lu Menglu heard this and her mind started racing. He didn't show any discomfort in front of Nana, and he didn't react when I initiated a conversation, so it's very likely that they don't have a romantic relationship. Moreover, the red mark on Nana's knee is clearly a leftover mark from last night. It seems that the battle last night was quite fierce, making this sugar daddy so happy that he's taking her to buy a house today. Just then, Qianqian also stepped forward to greet him. "Hello, Mr. Shen Yuan. When you want to change your car, remember to visit our showroom." At this time, Shen Yuan glanced at the favorability ratings above the two girls' heads and thought to himself, "We've only met for less than 5 minutes, and these two girls are already interested in me. Nana, are you sure these are your best friends? But this is good. It's to my advantage. Another woman with a favorability rating above 60 is another ATM." Thinking this, he calmly walked into the real estate center with the three beauties. As soon as they entered, many envious eyes turned to them. Buying a house and bringing three beauties, what a show-off. At the model area, a real estate agent came over immediately and introduced, "Sir, we are currently selling buildings 3 and 9, priced at around 15,000 yuan per square meter. Please take a look at the model first." But Shen Yuan said calmly, "No need, I have 3 million yuan. Just show me something that fits my budget." Hearing this, the agent said enthusiastically, "Sir, please come to the private consultation area, I'll show you the good stuff." Lu Menglu exclaimed again, "Wow, how rich is Shen Yuan, spending 3 million to buy a house? A sugar daddy like this, I have to get him." Entering the consultation room, the agent began, "With your budget, I recommend the 165 square meter unit, facing north with a south-facing balcony, beautiful sunlight, excellent design. The price after the discount is 2,984,000 yuan." Hearing the price, Chen Not tugged at Shen Yuan's shirt and whispered, "It's too expensive." Shen Yuan smiled and patted her thigh. "It's okay. Don't be stingy. A big house is more comfortable." Chen Na's two friends were stunned. Not even wants to help him save money, but he's going all out. He's truly a rare and infatuated sugar daddy. But Shen Yuan remained calm. Even if he wasn't short of money, he still had to bargain. He couldn't let them think he was a fool. He said calmly, "Calculate the final price. I know you can bend the rules." The agent immediately asked, "Sir, if you pay today, I'll ask my boss for a good price." Shen Yuan nodded. "It's convenient to bargain. No need to reduce the price further. Instead, I want 2 free parking spaces. The price is about the same." The agent immediately nodded, "Let me handle it." Lu Menglu stood beside him, adjusting her hair and thinking to herself, "I have to get this gold mine." Seeing her flirting, Shen Yuan wondered, what's she up to now? But looking closely, he had to admit that this girl was really hot. If something happened, it would be amazing. But he reminded himself, "I can't get distracted, I need to finish the house business first."